Hey guys, welcome back. Ruben Tech here, where we talk about the intersection of all things tech, politics, and finance. And today I'm giving you a little bit of the tech and the finance. We have Nvidia. Nvidia took an absolute beating today. We came off of like near yearly highs last Friday. I think it touched like 147 or something last Friday. It was pretty close right there, 147.86. We could see. I think 153 was the yearly high, and then the pre-market this morning just absolutely got slaughtered. Came down all the way to 124.30. And then during the day, even went below the pre-market. It had a little bit of a rally, but then it came back down to touched as low as 117.83. When it was down here, I bought a bunch of calls because I was like, this is insane. So I loaded up on a bunch of cheap calls. They're returning like 20% for me. Not a big deal. We'll talk about that later, my strategy. But you can see it's had a little bit of a rebound ever since. And so why did this happen? This is what I always say. The market, it's just this market is pure insanity. Okay, this is a cartoon market as evidenced by companies like Tesla and the media. The mainstream media knows nothing. You see all these people on social media, they're just out there. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. Nvidia, why weren't they able to compete with Deepseek? It's like, what? What are they even talking about? Deepseek has nothing, I don't want to say nothing, very little to do with Nvidia. I have, like, if you're a thinking person and you understand how the AI stack works, this simply does not compute. Why Nvidia has taken a beating, and why, if you had a position in Nvidia before this, that you would be worried now. Okay, it makes absolutely no sense, and I'm going to tell you why. So basically, and when I say this, first thing I'm going to preface it with this: DeepSeek is an amazing company, and what they did with their O1 model, or sorry, R1. O1 is OpenAI's. With their R1 model is absolutely incredible. I've been using it myself. It's just fantastic. Okay, I usually use Gemini. I have a paid subscription to Gemini. Actually, it's free, but it's paid free. It came with my Chromebook I bought. And I really prefer Gemini to OpenAI's models. However, DeepSeek, this model, I'm starting to think this is going to be my daily driver for a while. Okay, I mean, things are iterating really fast, so I expect Gemini to catch back up. I expect Facebook to catch back up, OpenAI. But this is an incredible model right now. But we are not here. That's neither here nor there. We're not talking about this. So basically, they come out with this incredible model, and everyone's like, oh, look, they trained it for so cheap, right? They did this training for so cheap compared to these other companies that no one's going to need NVIDIA's chips. And this is just pure nonsense, okay? And so just so you know, it's not me saying this. I went out and I found someone smart on social media, okay? John LeCun, who is like a pioneer in a lot of these AI technologies that we're discussing right now, especially, not particularly in this area, but in some of the most innovating areas like self-driving. And he talked about this today on Threads, okay? And so let's just go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to get myself off. Oh, wait, I've been in the middle of the screen the whole time. I guess that's not a big deal. I'll show you the NVIDIA screen later on. Oops, that's not that. So John LeCun, major misunderstanding about AI infrastructure investments. Much of those billions are going to infrastructure for inference, not training. Running AI assistant services for billions of people requires a lot of compute. Once you put video understanding, reasoning, large-scale memory, and other capabilities in AI systems, inference costs are going to increase. The only real question is whether users will be willing to pay enough, directly or not, to justify the CapEx and OpEx. Okay, so the market reaction to DeepSeek are woefully unjustified. This is absolutely correct, okay? So we hear about the billions on training, but everybody knew before this, okay? Mark Zuckerberg was talking about DeepSeek in an interview. You can go out and find it. He talked about DeepSeek like a month ago, okay? And he was talking about the incredible work they were doing and how they were bringing the cost down to training. And he pointed out, rightly so, that DeepSeek was using a lot of open source technologies in order to do this, okay? And so Mark Zuckerberg, with their strategy, they are going ahead and they are promoting open source models with Ollama, right? So everything they release with Llama, they're releasing with open source with Ollama. Not everything, they keep some things proprietary, but a lot of it. And DeepSeek took those Ollama models. They also took a lot of PyTorch. They use PyTorch, and they use, of course, the transformers from Google. Everybody uses those, right? And they built this model up, okay? So this was built off of open source, and now they're contributing back. And just a real quick aside here, for those of you who don't know why you would do this, why would Facebook do this? Why would Deepseek do this? Why would they just give away this technology? Yes, it can be very frustrating. I always thought to myself, why did Google release that paper on Transformers? It's because you are commoditizing your complement. Okay, so just like Facebook has some proprietary stuff to Olama, the model that they have, okay, and Google has proprietary stuff to all of their things. Deepseek probably does too. And so what you're looking at is you're looking at a very difficult niche of the market, and you're saying, I don't want any one person to dominate it. So we're going to drive down the costs, the profits in that part as far as we can, so that there's as many players as possible, and we can offer services on the side, okay? And so, because it's very hard to dominate a market like that. So basically they're saying, I don't want OpenAI to dominate this. We don't want Google to dominate it, et cetera, right? We want to make sure that this is staying open. It's very competitive. And then they probably have some proprietary things on the side that they'll be monetizing. That's definitely what Facebook is going to do. I would imagine that's what DeepSeek's going to do. And so you might mean, like, what does that mean exactly? Well, so think if you're OpenAI right now, right? You're really only pony in this that, your biggest pony, not your only pony, sorry, I shouldn't say that. Your biggest pony are these agents, okay? But if agency is going to become super low profit, right? If they're commoditizing it, where it's just super low profit, right? It's just like, you're going to have just this constant competition all the time coming out, better and better models. And all you got to do is all you're doing is trying to keep your head above the water, right? There are going to be no profits to be made, right? So it's going to be hard for someone to come in and establish a monopoly. Okay, so think of it like this with the servers. Microsoft would have had a monopoly on servers, but Apache came out and said, hey, we're going to release this open source free server, right? And so all these people started going to that and eventually ended up dominating in the commercial space. Okay, and so it took away from Microsoft, right? So Microsoft couldn't dominate that space. And then these people, they're like, okay, so Microsoft's not the dominant player. It keeps someone from dominating, from becoming a monopoly in a certain space. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So anyways, that's why people release open source. And sometimes they just release it because it's a good thing to do and it pushes the whole industry forward. Now, what he's talking about right here is that the cost of, so they've known for a while that training these models, okay, was going to get cheaper because, of course, they're going to get better and better technologies. And Google was saying that, I think I read articles to you about Google with TPU v6 from a while ago, where I think that, what was that article? They trained all their latest models. All of their latest models have been trained on their own internal TPUs since I believe January of last year, okay? And they were talking about how the cost is decreasing greatly. I think it was like 50% from TPU v5 to TPU v6. So you can search through some of my old videos for that, okay? And Sundar was talking about, this and how they expect that to keep going down quite a bit, right? And this is, so what we're seeing here with DeepSeek is obviously a new methodology. And what they're doing is they're driving costs down even further, right? For these competitive models. But the problem is, if you think that's going to affect Nvidia, then you don't understand what Nvidia does. Nvidia is selling these and training is a part of it, but the biggest part of it is inferencing. Okay, so it's when you are talking to the agent that the real compute comes in, okay? So you have your Google and you have Gemini and you have 100 million users and they're saying, hey, Gemini, do this. Hey, Gemini, do that. Hey, Gemini, do this tutorial for me. Look at my screen, read my screen. Tell me how to use Microsoft Excel. Hey, OpenAI, take this Excel sheet and go ahead and sort it for me by this. Go ahead and remove all the commas, from this book, all the dumb things that we ask AI to do. That is what takes the true computing. That is what they're building out for, is inferencing. Okay, so they're looking at a future where these agents are literally everywhere. Okay, look at the S25 and where AI is on the S25. It's scattered all over the place. Look at my Pixel phone. I have an AI studio to help me create thumbnails. I use it all the time. It's absolutely amazing. It has the AI generator on there. It has the AI for the camera that goes ahead. It can literally remove people from the photo. It can take someone from one photo, add to another. Okay, now a lot of these are ran on device, but some of the AI enhancements actually go up to the cloud and then come back. Okay, And so a lot of people don't even know about these AI features, but wait till you have 3, 4, 5 billion people using AI agents and using them casually, nonchalantly, for literally everything. Your inferencing costs are going to be tremendous. You're going to need crazy compute to handle that. And that's where Jan is saying, we don't know if that's going to be paid back because people are used to getting this kind of stuff for free, right? They really are. We're used to getting Gmail for free. And so right now, it's like Google, Sundar was talking about this on the last call. He was saying, hey, so people online a lot of times, I know I'm going on a big tangent here, but people a lot of times, they'll go and they'll say, hey, I talked to Google search and it gave me this dumb answer. And it's like, you know what? When you use free Google search, they're giving you the dumbest version of their AI possible. Why is that? Well, one, they want an answer just like that. And two, they got to save costs. They can't give you the most expensive thing for every single search for free. Okay. And the fact that they're able to give you anything and it's somewhat decent for free on every single search is absolutely amazing. And Sundar was talking about how they're even reducing those inferencing costs. Okay. But just wait until like when you go on Google search and you do a search and you have an answer that's equal to Deepseek R1 right now. Right? Just wait until that happens. And then wait until, instead of like, I don't know how many people signed up for Deepseek, maybe it is the number one app on iPhone, I think on Android today. On both app stores. If not number one, it was very close. I know on, I do think I saw something on Apple it was. Or maybe that was an AI model. Sorry, I don't know if it's number one overall, but AI model, so it's definitely number one. So let's just say they have 5-10 million people. What happens when you have 1 billion people searching Google, or you have 1 billion people using DeepSeek, or you have 1 billion people using Meta's AI, or you have all 3 billion people on Facebook conversing with their AI to help them write posts or something like that, right? That's the cost that's truly going to happen. That's what they're building out for. That is what Nvidia is selling for. Okay, so now let's go back to Nvidia. So this is Nvidia, right? This is a complete and total overreaction. There's no other way to put this. I'm going to go ahead and scoot this in. Does that scoot anything in? Okay, you can't see anything. So this is a complete and total overreaction. Let me move my image of me. How do I move my image of me? There we go. I want to move it over here so you can see it. All right, this is no other way to put it than just, I got 2 NVIDIAs up there. I want to get that full chart in there for you guys. There we go. Okay. So again, NVIDIA doing this, right? You can see that big drop, a little bit of a comeback there at the end of the day. And now also, right, we come over here and it's like, well, what should I do? Well, for me, I mean, these are dangerous times. So I have honestly been reducing my NVIDIA position for a while. I mean, in this account, I only have 115 shares. It's almost pure profit, got in early, whatever. I'm blessed, but I've been reducing in this account for quite a while, but I had another account where I had 200 shares quite a bit later. And I got crushed in that, so 200 shares, you're talking about 147 down to 117 at the peak today. So that's $6,000 over the weekend that you lose. That's like, oh my gosh, like really stinks. But out of that one, I'm thinking about cutting down too. And not because I think NVIDIA is a bad company. I plan on definitely holding some NVIDIA. I just want to reduce my exposure because I think the threats to NVIDIA are not DeepSeek. DeepSeek is a threat to OpenAI. It's not a threat to NVIDIA. It's a threat to xAI. I mean, people should be looking at Elon and Tesla right now and saying, what? What? You're going to be an AI company and there's going to be no profit in these AI that you're talking about? What? So DeepSeek isn't a threat to NVIDIA though, because everyone's going to still need compute for the inferencing, for serving people. Okay. So that's going to be the same. To me, the threat there is the custom chips that are coming out, right? The fact that Google is using TPU v6 instead of using NVIDIA's chips to serve everybody. The fact that Azure and Microsoft are developing their own chips. And right now they're using NVIDIA's chips, but eventually their own chips will be good enough. And that maybe people will start using Google's chips because, Google's building out their service library very quietly around their own chips in their cloud. Okay. But so what did I do for this? Well, personally, and I am not a stock advisor, as you all know. Shoot. God, I can't get anything to work today. I went ahead and I bought some calls. I bought some calls right away as soon as it dropped to like 118, and they are at 133. So you can see these calls. I think I'm up on them just a little bit. Average cost 111, 133. Yeah. So I'm up like 220 bucks market value. So, I made like 20% today, but I'm holding them for a big return. I'm looking at this as like shaking a die. I'm not an investment advisor. Don't do anything I do. You guys know that. Okay. This is not financial advice. I'm looking at just shaking a die with these because I think this was a massive overreaction. However, who knows what the market's going to do? Maybe Nvidia tanks more tomorrow. I mean, if Nvidia goes below 115 tomorrow, if it touches below, I'm actually going to buy puts on it. I'm not going to sell anything, but I'm going to get some protection and buy some puts. For every 100 shares I own, I'm going to buy a put. Probably like put it out like 30 days or something, because if it breaks 115, I had just drawn up a chart and I think it hit like, and the chart I draw, I'm not really good with charting, but it hit 115 was the bottom of the Bollinger Band that I had, I think. So yeah, if it hits like that, definitely I'm going to buy some puts, put it on there for a little bit of safety. But right now I'm kind of thinking, with how crazy this market is, it's just like, my guess is that people are like, oh, hey, this was an overreaction, and tomorrow everything comes roaring back. Now, again, I just want to say this, I'm not a financial advisor, right? So you might be like, if you don't have the money, don't throw away $1,300 doing this, okay? Just please do not. Don't do what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is, for me, it's like a lot of days where it's like you have these down days of 5%, and then the next day it's, it's up 5%. So if that, if Nvidia went down 15% today, maybe tomorrow it comes back 10%. These calls are going to absolutely print money. Okay. So what do I got? I think like 10 of them or something. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah. 10 contracts, $1.11 a piece. So what was the strike on them? I don't even know what they were. 130. Yeah. I mean, $130. And it's, $1.11 cost is like at 117. And you might say like, that's way out of the money, but it dropped $30 in one day. So why couldn't it just pop back 15 bucks? I don't have any technical reason for it, okay? But that's just my thoughts. But the main thing I want to get across to you guys is that this is a complete and total overreaction for Deepseek. Deepseek is an incredible, amazing company. What they did is absolutely a testament to the power of open source, and everybody like Facebook and Google and those people who open source all these tools, they should be proud of themselves, because it's like, hey, this is why we open source things, to just push the market forward, push the market forward, push the market forward, right? Absolutely. It's absolutely incredible. But they are not a competitor to Nvidia. Okay. They are a competitor to OpenAI and Google. But I want to say directly Google, because Google is different. Okay. So one thing I remember about Google, like let's say you're looking at Google and you're like, well, what about Google? Why isn't Google? Well, Google has, unlike XAI, unlike Tesla, which is billing itself as an AI company, unlike OpenAI, Google makes a ton of money in a lot of other spaces. Okay, so they're moving a vertical into this space, right? But they're integrating with their current stack. So it's vastly different, okay, is how they're doing this. And so while you could say this is kind of a competitor to them, they're not solely dependent on it. Like, where else is XAI going to make money, right? If Elon's telling us, he's like, hey, I'm a robotics company. Hey, I'm a AI company. Well, if he's an AI company, then where's the money going to be in there? The margin's going to be this thin. Google does a lot of other stuff. They're going to be AI, right? They're going to be in compute. They're going to be in search. They're in OSs, with Android, Chrome, though that might get broken up. I doubt it under Trump. It seems like Trump is being very, very friendly now to big tech. So I think it's definitely a different risk there. But Nvidia, what does Nvidia have to worry? Okay. If Deepseek could, they probably would buy as many Blackwell chips as they could. If the U.S. government didn't prevent them, they'd probably be calling up Jensen Huang right now and saying, hey, send over as many of these as you can. We'll take whatever we can. Okay. So I just want to say that it's kind of a little bit of nonsense. Hopefully you guys understand that. If you don't believe me, again, look at John LeCun. This is, major player, chief AI scientist at Meta, researcher in AI and machine learning, ACM Turing Award laureate. Okay. So this is a very accomplished person. So that's all I got for you today. Have a great day.